Chapter 7, The Seven Great Rituals. Our universe is still increasing in size as more star systems are being created from the center of the universe. When the universe is complete, it will have over 125 billion trillion star systems. The suns of these star systems, such as our sun, are called the first tier suns. The star systems are created in groups that modern people call galaxies. Each galaxy, on average, has over 177 trillion stars. At the center of each galaxy is a large sun called the second tier sun, around which the stars of the galaxy revolve. The second tier suns of most galaxies are still in the first stage of materialization called magnetism. Only the oldest galaxies close to the center of the universe have suns that have fully materialized through the stage of magnetism, electricity, light and ether, and appears as giant orbs of light. After the completion of the universe, there will be over 700 million trillion galaxies. All these galaxies are created in groups of 10,000. The 10,000 galaxies in the group revolve around an even larger sun called the third tier sun. There are over 70,000 trillion groups of 10,000, and therefore there are over 70,000 trillion third tier suns. These 70,000 trillion groups are further subdivided into groups of 10,000. There are 7 trillion of these groups, each group revolving around the fourth tier sun. Therefore, there are 7 trillion fourth tier suns. The 7 trillion fourth tier groups are further subdivided into groups of 14,000, each group revolving around the fifth tier sun. There are exactly 504 million of these groups, and therefore there are 504 million fifth tier suns. These 504 million suns are further subdivided into 12 groups. Each group has 42 million fifth tier suns revolving around a sixth tier sun. Therefore, there are 12 sixth tier suns. The 12 sixth tier suns revolve around one seventh tier sun, which is the largest and the first sun created. It is located at the center of the universe. The seventh tier sun is located of what is called heaven, the original abode of the 1,000,000,008,000,000 gods. The 12 sixth tier suns revolving around it comprise what are called the 12 pearly gates of heaven. The seventh sun, the location of heaven, can only be entered through one of these gates or sixth tier suns. Each sixth tier sun is the center of a universe. Although the universe is one, it is nonetheless divided into 12 parts, each part being, as it were, a complete, self-contained universe. All of these 12 universes are equal in size and are located equidistant around the central or universal sun. They are located, or rather will be located, at the end of the universe, around the central sun in the form of what modern mathematicians call a dodecahedron. That means they will be located equidistant all around the sphere of the central sun, and they will revolve around the orbital circuits that are perfectly aligned to do so in a perfect and harmonious way. At the end, when the universe has reached a complete, perfect state, it is used as the first earth of the next creation. The universe at that point will be symmetrical orb. The central sun of the universe will then become the central sun of that first earth, located right at its core. The 12 six-tier suns revolving around this center core will be rearranged in such a way that they are equidistantly placed around the core or central sun, as mentioned before. These 12 suns will become the 12 primary nodes of the first earth. Hence, every orb created in that new universe after that will be patterned after their first earth, meaning that they will all have 12 primary nodes. This includes all orbs, whether they are planets or suns. Each one of these 12 suns, which become primary nodes, are surrounded by 42 million fifth tier suns, as already mentioned. When a planet becomes ready for habitation, the 12 nodes become the center of each of the 12 countries belonging to the 12 tribes. The 42 million fifth tier suns are the secondary nodes around each one of the 12 primary nodes. The 12 primary nodes represent the 12 gods who will rule the earth, manifested in the flesh as 24 elders, 12 men and 12 women, soulmates. The 42 million secondary nodes represent the 42 million gods who will become the citizens of each country, incarnating in the flesh as 84 million people, 42 million men and 42 million women, soulmate couples. The pattern are repeated 12 times in the 12 countries, the location of each country being determined by the primary nodes. As the planet gets older and becomes more and more stable, and as the continents are rearranged repeatedly over the ages, the nodes move around as well, establishing new locations for the capital of each country, according to the orders of the elders executed by the chiefs. Now, there are 7 great rituals in the education system of the Black nation. The 7 rituals correspond directly to the 7 tiers of the suns in the universe. People take part in this first great ritual when they reach the age of about 1,000 years. Then they engage in one ritual every 1,000 years after that until they complete all 7, the last one being when they are about 7,000 years of age. After they complete the first great ritual, they gain the power that resides in the sun, such as ours, called the first tier sun. The power of the sun encompasses our entire solar system and beyond, all the way to the boundary with the other nearby sun systems. Thus, these initiates are called the first tier initiates, for lack of a better word. They gain knowledge, understanding, and power over all that exists within our solar system, right up to the boundary. That means they know the vibrational name or image and nature of everything that exists in our solar system. They remain at this stage of power for 1,000 years. During that time, they consolidate that power within themselves, making it a part of themselves in every conceivable way. The consolidation takes 1,000 years and cannot be completed any sooner because the natural laws inherited in the first ritual process and the way it affects the body and mind. The consolidation of power includes not only power over our solar system, but over any solar system in a galaxy, one at a time. This means whichever sun system they may happen to visit, they have the same power over it as they have in this solar system. Once they have done that, after 1,000 years, they are then ready to take part in the second ritual. The second great ritual gives them galactic sun power, or the power of the second tier sun, and they become second tier initiates. Similarly, it takes 1,000 years to consolidate second tier power. Even though the galaxy is that much bigger than the solar system, it still takes only 1,000 years because their ability to consolidate increases with every higher ritual. After another 1,000 years, they complete the third great ritual to gain power of the third tier sun, which is the sun of 10,000 galaxies. Then they spend 1,000 years to have that power totally inculcated in them. The fourth great ritual gives them the power of the fourth tier sun, which is the sun of over 100 million galaxies. The fifth great ritual gives them the power of the fifth tier sun, which is the nourishment over 1 trillion galaxies. After completing the sixth great ritual, they gain the power of the sixth tier sun, which is the overseer of over 58 million trillion galaxies. Then finally, they complete the seventh great ritual, which endows them with power of the universal sun, the sun of 700 million trillion galaxies. When they reach this stage, they become citizens of the universe. They become citizens of the first earth, which is located at the center of the universe, at the core of the universal sun. The inhabitants of the first earth live on that planet inside of the universal sun, surrounded by its golden atmosphere. The golden atmosphere inside of each sun is a repository of all things over which the sun has guardianship. Since the universal sun has guardianship over the entire universe, it is a repository, so to speak, of all that exists in the universe. That means everything that exists in our galaxy can be accessed inside of our galactic sun, and everything that exists in our universe can be accessed in the golden atmosphere of the universal sun. There's a reason why the golden sun and silvery colors are used, and that is because they are superior to all other colors in recording and reproducing without any laws. The inhabitants of the first earth use the universal sun to interact and travel to any part of the universe. They can see any part of the universe from inside of the universal sun. When they want to contact someone to travel to some place in the universe, they first summon the sixth tier sun of that location. The sun will appear before them. It actually appears in the mind's eye, but their imagination is so strong that the image actually materializes as a light orb in front of them. Then they step right into it and are instantly at that place where the sun is located. When they are there, inside of the sixth tier sun, they summon the fifth tier sun of their desired location, and it too appears before them. And by stepping into it, they transport themselves instantly to its location. By using the word summon, I am trying to convey an idea that is somewhat similar to the summoning of a taxi cab. You wait at the street and call a taxi on your phone. It drives up and stops before you. You enter it and it transports you to your desired location. The dematerialization process is somewhat analogous. They start by standing at a designated location inside of the sixth tier sun. Then using the mind, they call the fifth tier sun by its vibrational name or visualizing it as it is. And it instantly appears before them as a golden, sometimes silvery light orb about the size of twice the height of a person. Then they step right into it and find themselves instantly inside that fifth tier sun, trillions of light years away, wherever that sun is actually located. Then they repeat the process and move many more light years to the fourth tier sun, and then to the third, and finally to the second or central sun of the galaxy they wish to visit. Once they are inside the galactic sun, they can summon any star in that galaxy, for example, our sun. Then they find themselves inside of our sun, and then they have access to any planet or place in our solar system. To visit their host on Earth, they simply summon his location, which could be a room in his house, which will immediately appear before them. And they simply step into it and are instantly inside of the actual room in the house of their host on Earth. So just like that, they can move from any part of the universe to anywhere else instantly. The distance makes no difference to how quick they can get there. The step-by-step process I have described may give the impression that it actually takes noticeably amount of time to move from sun to sun and eventually to the final location. In actual practice, it takes a fraction of the second because what they actually do is summon all the destinations simultaneously in their minds, and thus they move through all of them at the speed of thought, which makes it appear as if they move from point A to point D without stopping at B and C. That is not so. They just move as fast as their minds are able to simultaneously call on various stopping places in between and finally find themselves at the final location. They only stop at the intermediate locations for longer if they have the need to do so. To travel back from the Earth, they use one of the many secondary nodal points that exist on Earth. As I mentioned before, there are 42 million of them in every country, although not all of them are exactly accessible. They act as portals between our Earth and other nearby planets, as well as to the sun itself, which is the main portal for going to the center of the galaxy. These portals are actually located many miles inside of the Earth. They fan outward in the form of a cone, all the way to many miles above the Earth. Hence, they can be accessed just as easily above the Earth in space as they can on the surface of the Earth. When they are used by people, they are accesses on the surface. And when they used by interplanetary spacecraft, they are accessing space above the Earth. The dematerialization of objects uses the same principle of summoning. To bring an object to themselves, they call its real name, which is the same as visualizing it as it really is, and it appears before their minds. As soon as they release it, it materializes before them. Thus, the great rituals grace them with the power to know every single thing in the universe and to be able to summon it by its real name which is its true image or vibration, and to enter its location of its place, or move it to themselves or to another place if it's a smaller object. Those are some of the powers inherent in the great rituals. There are many more, but it's not necessary to mention them. The ones mentioned are enough to give an idea of their glory. Question: if there are millions of portals, how come we don't see people disappear in and out of them every day? The portals are always closed. To go through, one has to open it first. Question: can you open a portal? No. At the level of my training, I am unable to open a portal by myself. Question: can you open it with the help of someone? Yes. I am able to open it with my soulmate. Wow. Can you tell me more on where the portals are? There are thousands of them right here in California. Question: where exactly? There is one inside of the house where I live here in California. That is how me and my wife travel to and from our village.